Hello, everyone. We are back with another new review of season 5, Raising Kanan. We are back with a watch and review recap of episode 7. Is starting off very dark energy, introspective with Mr. Marvin. Just really not. He looking like he is just, which he has been all season, just really being introspective, really thinking about not only his recent actions and his brother's death, just I probably his whole life, and just you hear 50 Cent's voice as kind of narrating Marvin's thoughts, which I think is really really dope and cool. I love how they're using 50's narration this season. It's not only with uh using it for Kanan, but using it as he reflects on his time about of the Kanan character, just reflecting on the past as an adult, because when you see that parallel of like Kanan at that time as a child and also hearing Kanan speaking as a grown man, is I think is so smart, especially for Marvin, because his character is really going through a lot of introspection this season. So opening with that scene, and hearing 50's, I love how they used his narration for that. And then we jump to seeing Hafiz with Stefano, and Hafiz is all in a tizzy because of course Rock and Marvin killed the Colombian partner the last episode, which Marvin did not really want to do, but Rock is just being super reactive, and I think that was another big thing of keeping Marvin up at night, because I think he has this feeling where he knows it's gonna come back on them. There's gonna be consequences for that. And so Hafiz let Stefano know, like, I want to I want to end Rock and Marvin ASAP, and but he knows it's going to cause issues with Pino. And Stefano is just like, yeah, you're right, but if Rock don't have you with the Colombians, her business is done, and Pino don't look out for people that's not, financially beneficial to him. So he's like, let me handle. Is long overdue for me to kill those two, to kill Rock and Marvin. He's like, he owed them some bullets and he gonna handle it. So Hafiz is like, good bet. Which is different energy from Stefano, because he's super reactive and emotional, and I feel like him hanging with Breeze has influenced his energy, which is a unique trait with Breeze. He's which I appreciate that they highlight about him, because he is a natural leader, um, and he is really great at balancing on, how to be an aggressive leader and also a passive leader. I feel like he's passively leading Stefano, and it aligns with Stefano, because this is he's being very strategic as opposed to just being reactive. So we shall see how that goes. And so next we are in the park. We see Marvin and Rock. They are Rock is they're waiting for Flossie, and Flossie asks them to meet in the park, and Rock is asking Marvin, like, are y'all are y'all like hooking up, are y'all hunching? And Marvin is like, nah, I told you, like, we just talk, like we never been on it like that, like at all, ever. And Rock is like, oh, I'm not hating, it's just that maybe it'll be helpful to smooth things out when and if anything goes wrong. But he's like, nah, I'm not. Me and her relationship is strictly platonic. So Flossie pulls up on them, walks up, and she lets them know, like, so your son broke into my apartment. I don't know if he was trying to scare me or kill me. And he basically lets me know, like, he the one who gave one of my girls those drugs that killed that judge and causing problems, and he said you knew about it. And then she looked to Marvin, she was like, did you know about it? And Marvin couldn't even like look at her because he did know. And so she was like, very quickly she was like, we're done. But she looks to Marvin and just was like, I was really liking our talks, with spending time with you. And Marvin's just like, me too. He just like surrendered to it. He didn't even try to talk her out of it. Like, of course, Rock tried to talk her out of it. And Flossie was just like, we're done. I already told Pino we're done. And the only reason why you're still alive is is because of your brother Marvin, because she has a lot of respect for him and everything, and they grew as acquaintances, and they were kind of developing like beginnings of a friendship. So but Marvin just looked like he wasn't even really surprised. So we shall see how this continues to unfortunately ravel on their end of their business. So we shall see. So next we are back at Kanan's apartment with Drita. She is just really nervous and stressing out about helping Kanan break into Flossie's apartment because she knows how Flossie really is and how dangerous she is, especially if you pull stunts like that. And so Kanan's trying to calm her down and just being like, well, I let her know what's going on about my mom, and she said she's not doing business with her, and I basically accomplished my goal, and she said that she's not going to touch you, so what are you stressing about? And then Drita is just like she's just like, I can't do this, I can't be in this type of lifestyle. And like, how she just starts to become, she's talking out loud, but she really looks like she's talking to herself out loud. And how could she deal with him, and how could she form feelings for him? And he was lying to her the whole time, and she trusted him more when he lied to her as opposed to when he started telling the truth. And basically, like, she's disturbed by him, and I think scared of him, the more she gets to see his real side. And Kanan is just looking at her like, well, what did you think was going to happen? I had my gun, I was rolling up to the apartment, you left the door open. Like, you knew what this was. Like, why are you acting like, and you know Flossie more than me, so why did you help me in the first place? Which is a good question. um and he's just like, well, Flossie said she's not going to touch you, so I don't know, and I'm not trying to hear all of this. And she's basically like, fuck you, to Kanan. And she goes to leave, and Kanan grabs her arm and just like, fuck you too, bitch. And what we had wasn't even wasn't even real anyway. And I'm like, I'm glad and I hope it's over. I'm glad it's over, because I I hope Drita, the character, learned a valuable lesson of the lie and myth that they groom little girls to think some man gonna come save you, and you gotta save yourself. And she really fucked herself. And even though she didn't want to be in that lifestyle, she could have just left on better terms with Flossie. You know what I mean? And she really just fucked herself. And how is she going to continue to take care of her family and the means that came in with working for Flossie? So it's just a valuable lesson. And so next we have Marvin and Rock leaving the park, walking. Marvin's walking Rock to the car, and she's just like trying to map out on. She's just frustrated and saying fuck everybody and mapping out who she's kind of want to get at going forward. And she wants to like go to the pawn shop and I guess get back, see whoever's there at the pawn shop, and hurt whoever needs be. And Marvin is just like, you talking about all these people, but what about Kanan? Because he like, if we roll up in there, guns a blazing, and if Kanan there, he if he get popped, he get popped. That's what Marvin said. And of course, Rock is just like, what? And Marvin's just like, you're very selective on how you want to get revenge on people. When Marvin, not Marvin, when Kanan has been like pulling the most lethal stunts on you, and he's just like, of course, Rock always goes to like, oh, Kanan's just a kid, he don't know what he doing, and it's just like, I'm like, I agree with Marvin. Kanan know what he doing, and Marvin said that to her. He's like, this boy is like causing trouble, and he's like, you like to pick and choose. He's like, at the end of the day, we killed one of his street guys who's not that much older than him. We like basically like, you want to pick and choose, like we've killed someone's son. Like, you don't have any qualm about killing a young person. You've killed plenty of young people who ain't know what they were doing, like, so. And I'm glad he said that to her. He was just like, he's just like, really just letting her know, like, I don't even want to like really have nothing to do with none of this, honestly. And he's like, but I'm gonna follow your lead like he always do, because he's, a loyal person, and he feel like he in too deep. And she's just like, well, roll up or do what you gotta do at the pawn shop and bring Kanan out of there. And she was like, you would be thinking like me if it was Juke. And he's just like, yeah, but Juke and Kanan are two different people. You can't project what Kanan would do as opposed to what Juke would do. I don't think that's fair to say, because the shit that fucking Kanan has done, like Juke has done some shit, but not to the detriment of her family. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't blur those lines like that. So they're two different people. She hasn't put her father in that position. And Kanan doesn't give a fuck. And he's put you in many shitty positions. He's told Stefano he don't even care if you die. You know what I mean? So it's just like pure insanity. So we shall see how we move forward after this, child. I don't know. I have no idea. So now we are at Snap and Pop's restaurant. Breeze walks in and sits down. They let him know that Stefano let them know that Rock is not protected no more, and she's free game, to get at her and put her down, her and Marvin. And Breeze is taking this all in, and they have this whole plan saying that they want Breeze and Kane to kill Rock and Marvin, and saying Breeze should shoot Rock, and basically wanting them to do the deed. And if Kanan don't want to do it, then that's a problem, and Kanan knows how we handle problems. And Breeze is just looking at him like, yeah, he doesn't fuck with them and doesn't fuck with his mom, but that's a lot to ask someone to kill their own people like that, like knowingly. Cause like, yeah, Kanan killed his Uncle Lou, but he did that by accident. He didn't like, he was actually there, even though it is crazy to go and try to kill his mom, but that was on his own accord. You know what I mean? It's not like he was carrying something out for someone else. That was because he felt like justified trauma that Rock, put him through. And I agree with Breeze. Like, Breeze is just looking at them like, and I think he's like really seeing them for what it is, and realizing like, is this why they had me come out here? Was this they plan all along? Like, them and this shit with Rock? You know what I mean? Not really about giving me a financial opportunity and putting me on. I could tell that was like rolling around in Breeze's head. And he's just like, this is a lot. Like, I don't know how y'all think this is going to work. So he's just like not really saying nothing and taking everything in. But I can tell he's like super disturbed and just looking at them and everything and dealing with them very differently, because it's clear he doesn't even feel comfortable asking this of Kanan. Like he's like, what? Like he don't even feel comfortable. Like he doesn't. He look like he do not want to ask Kanan. He don't want to be a part of this. Like, and he's looking at him like, y'all have the problem. Why can't y'all do it? Like this is y'all old. Like this is my main issue with them. Why are you having these young guys handle y'all old ass beef? Like this makes no sense. Like, and they're so cowardly. Like how Snap and Pop get down. They are so they like to talk this big bravado, but they're such strategic cowards. How they who they hit and how they hit, like they are so cowardly. And I could tell Breeze is like peeping that about them, but he's keeping it to the vest, which is the dope thing about his crazy character. And then we go to Detective Garcia. He's in the precinct. He get called in the room, and he is asked with the FBI. He sees as he goes in, he sees one of his co-workers walking out of it and just talking to himself like, yo, this is crazy. And he walking in like, what's going on? So they ask him if they know anything about what is going on, or because they let him know that they know about his old captain, Baptiste, that he committed suicide, and if there's anything they know he can share. And he's just like, nah, like my captain was always straight by the books. Like when I was talking to him, it was about like him owing me a debt about a game, and I was just giving him a hard time, and that was it. So they looking like, yo, he was under investigation, so anything you know could help us. And he like, yo, he was always good to me. I don't have a bad word to say about him, so you barking up the wrong tree, basically. And so they're like, so he leaves and goes to the side of the hallway. He's looking stressed, like, my God, today. He, knowing like they're not going to let it go, they're going to still be investigating. So he's just like looking kind of squirrely by it. So cut to Kanan meets Juke. Juke is waiting for him in a food spot. And she basically lets him know that she found out and knows that Snap and Pop are the actual people who killed Kanan's old best friend, childhood best friend, Famous. And Kanan's just like looking shocked and just like, oh, how do you know? And she like, no, I got connects and I know it's the truth and I'm letting you know. And he's not really reacting. And Juke is just like, I just told you who killed your best friend and you don't got shit to say. And Kanan is basically just like going on this spiel of like, well, if Famous was talking or snitching, he deserved it, basically. And so Juke is like another added layer of disturbed by Kanan. And he's just basically, this is like, you said you didn't want to fuck with me, and like, what do you want me to do? What do you want from me? And then Juke is like, I don't want anything from you. I'm letting you know who killed your best friend, and if you want to do something about it or like do something in his honor. And he's just like, well, if basically like, yeah, like I'm not worried about people who are gone already. And she's just like, oh yeah, like Uncle Lou. And Kanan was just like, ain't say nothing. He just left, cause she gonna always use that because that's like the official like thing she's gonna use to be like, dude, you fucked up our family and our relationship. Like, she's always gonna use that as a measure of when things turned, of when she basically feel like she, saw the real him. So that conversation did not go well. But we'll see. We'll see if Kanan does anything about it. Or if he lets Breeze know, and how Breeze takes in that information, and give him time to process it. But we shall see, child. This episode is really, really good so far. Very, really so good. Now we are in Pino's restaurant spot, and Rock meets him there, and she is trying to save face and, still keep her business with him. And he basically lets her know, like, basically like, I know everything. I found out about everything. And he's like, Rock, she's gonna show her bravado, and He's like, yo, if you could package that confidence up and sell it, you'll have people lined up. And she's like, oh, I already have people lined up. He's like, no, you don't. Like you, she's like, and basically like, yeah, you like, you have some, you know, some product left, but you don't have a way to move it anymore. Flossie's not working with you, and you don't have a lot of product left. And basically, I'm done with you. You know, you've become more of, you know, a burden than an asset, and you know, which is to be expected. And basically kicks her out of his restaurant and tells his guard like, you know, she's going. And Rock, before she left, she's just like, you know, everybody who, you know, didn't bet on me lost. And he's like, girl, you basically like, you're nothing to bet on at this point. You've already lost and lost everything. And you know, it's gonna come a time where people gonna, sorry, that's the train. I live by a train station, child. Like, it's gonna come a time where, you know, people gonna come collect on what you owe and what you, the energy you put out there, basically. So Rock leaves. So I'm just like, oh my god. Even though like Rock, they be trying to paint a villain. I love the character of Rock. I just feel bad for her and Marva. I'm like, my God, today this is just this is like really sad how everything is falling apart. So, cut to, we see Detective Garcia, Marvin, and Juke, and Garcia is letting them know like, um, the police are having a case against you for killing, you know, his white niece's abusive foster parent. And the neighbors, you know, witnesses say there was a black tooth coming in. They got a good look at you. So if they bring you in, they could probably ID you. So they said they feel confident about their case. And Marvin's just trying to play it off and saying like, I don't know what you're talking about. It ain't me. Just trying to like not admit to it. And Garcia's letting them know like, like, I don't have nothing to do with y'all anymore. And you know, basically like, you, like he told you, like, you stay out of my way, I'll stay out of yours. Like, I don't want no problems for you. I'm not gonna bring you any problems. Don't bring me any problems. So he leaves, and Juke is not saying nothing. She looks so worried, and Marvin's just like, oh, what you look so worried for? Don't worry about it. Like, oh, the cops, they've been chasing me since I could walk, and they can't catch me. And Juke is not saying anything. She's just looking at him like, child, this does not look good. But like Juke, you know, she's, which is so powerful about her character, a lot lies. Like, her silence is so loud. I love that about her character. Like, and that speaks to her energy. Just I love that about her character. Like, her silence is loud. It's like, it's deafening. And I love that about her. So, I don't know, the unraveling of Rock and Marvin is just, it's just hard to watch. So cut to Kanan and Breeze link up at like some like garage or something, and Breeze is letting him know like, you know, Pop and Snaps let me know like, you know, Rock is kind of, her business is dwindling. She's open season. Stefano put the word out. Um, and also, he, you know, found out that he rolled up into Flossie's crib and basically fucked up Rock's business. And you know, why you didn't let me know? And then Kanan's just like, nah, it wasn't planned. It was kind of like the opportunity presented itself, and you know, I had to take it. I couldn't, you know, I didn't want to miss it, basically. So Breeze is just like, you know, I have no, like, it worked out. You know, Stefano, Pop, and Snaps are happy about it, so it's not worth, it doesn't matter for me to feel any type of way about it. So he basically know like shit's about to get real and messier and way realer than rolling up into some rich white lady's crib, because he know he gotta tell Kanan about fucking Pops and Snaps scheme of him wanting them both of them to take out Rock and Marvin. So I do not know how that talk is going to go. So we shall see, child. This episode is like intense as fuck. Like, my God, today. So, child, now we have Rock. She's with her lawyer. They're in this interrogation room with the FBI, with the agent Tanner and some other guy. They letting them know that um, they basically have some information on Rock about how she got rid of that store at that mall, and the buyer is basically someone who they've been watching on a terrorist list, and basically like if she can give them information, they'll be lenient on her. But they basically said they have information that they can get her for money laundering because they've been having their eyes on her for quite some time. So they basically try to talk to her to strike a deal. And she's just like, well, you don't got nothing on me and I don't believe you. And they're like, we got surveillance of you not only having a money trail with the new buyer of that spot at the mall, but also seeing you with Stefano and Pino, who are mafioso people. And basically being like, if you could tell us the nature of y'all relationship, again, trying to strike a deal with her. So Rock is like pissed, and she's just like, basically, y'all don't have anything on me. You're trying to scare me. And, she leaves the room. So we cut to Kanan and Breeze talking. They're in the office area of the pawn shop. They're, that front spot that Breeze and all of them work out of. And basically letting them know the plan from Pop and Snap of they got to be the ones to take out Rock and Marvin. And Breeze is just like, I know this is a lot, so, I'll take out your mom and you can take out Marvin. And then King is just like, he's like, it'll actually be easier for me to take out my mom. I have more, issues with her and more trauma from her than taking out than Marvin. Cause Breeze is looking like cause it's like, yeah, he proposed that because he like, how Marvin fucking bust your ass. He mollywopped you to the brink of death. So, but seem like Kanan understands because it's what happened with Lou. So, and Breeze is just like, Pop and Snaps is asking us to do this, and if you can do it, it'll prove like your loyalty to them. And Kanan outbursting just like, like they killed my best friend, and I don't even do nothing about it. Like, what more do I have? I don't have shit to prove to them. And Breeze is just like, how like who told you that? And Kanan is just like, it doesn't even matter anymore. But he's basically like, if I do this, I'm doing this for me. It's not to prove nothing to them. I don't have nothing to prove to them because they fucking killed my best friend. And they still, basically, they still breathing, which I feel. But again, I'm seeing Breeze take this in, and I think Breeze was already disturbed about Snap and Pop putting him in position to even ask Kanan to do this, because you could tell Breeze don't even want to really do this or put Kanan in this position. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, he don't really, but he, is you got to do what you got to do. So Kanan said he'll do it, but he's going to take out his mother, Breeze take out Marvin. So I guess we shall see how this goes. So cut to it's outside of the offices. It looks like the court office. Rock is like smoking a cigarette, and her lawyer comes out, basically letting her know the finished conversation have happened with the FBI agent, and basically letting her know like they got a lot of evidence on you. They have like a real money trail, and basically saying like the realtor that she worked with, they talked to him and was like, she knew everything and gave me extra money and was in on it with me and the buyer, and then Rock is just like, I just told him like I'll give him extra money if he can sell it fast. But he's like, that's not what the realtor told him. And so Rock is just like, what in the fuck is going? She's just like, they just telling you that. He like, they could be, but it don't look good. We're not in a good spot. So Rock is just like, it's just one thing after another. She's just looking like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm just feeling really, really bad for Rock, but it just seemed like it's a time in the universe. It's a karmic period for Rock. you know, Not only for Rock, her and Marvin. It's a karmic period. So we shall see how this goes, child. Ugh. So now we are at Marvin and Juke's crib. Marvin is downstairs counting his dealing with his gun, his artillery, his guns basically downstairs. And Juke come down. She's like, what's going on? Why you, basically, what are you doing down here? He's like, oh, I'm just taking count. You just, it's always good to keep, check on your inventory. And she's just like, for what? And he's just like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And she's just like, what are you going to do about what Detective Garcia said? And he's just like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to be all scared over the words of some scared little white girl. And Juke is just like, yeah, the words of a scared little white girl has been killing us, basically black people, for quite some time. Like, you should be worried about it. And she's just like, basically being honest with him and being like, I know. She's like, I don't know if you've given up or what's going on with you, or you don't care, but things are going bad. Like, shit is not going good. It keeps getting worse and worse. And she's worried. That's her father. Even though, and lets them know like we've been through a lot, but you've been always been there for me. Like, yeah, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Our relationship's not perfect, but I don't want to lose you. You're the one person that has been constant and I can trust in my life. And she starts crying, and he saves face, and he's just like, no, I got it under control. And he hugs her, but you can see his face like he is scared shitless. He is scared. So we cut to Kanan is pulling up to his crib. He coming into his building, and he's meted by Pops and Snaps, and they're just like, oh, we hearing that you know something, and we don't like to leave things unsaid. And then Kanan's like, but you didn't say anything. You didn't say nothing for mad long about how you were the ones who killed Famous. And you said that my mom did it. And they are lying. They are like lying to Kanan, saying like, oh, we didn't do it, and who told you? And they're trying to like, people are trying to mess up our relationship and put distrust between us, and just lying to his face. And Kanan's just like, well, maybe you didn't do it or whatever, but you asking for a lot from me, and I'm gonna handle it, but and I don't know what more to prove to y'all, because they're just like, oh, it's gonna be hard for us to move forward, and you gotta prove loyalty. And he's just like, I'm gonna handle it, and once I handle it, that's gonna be the end of it. Because basically let him know like like, I could come at y'all as I found out this information about Famous and how y'all put him down, and they're sticking to their lie. And Kanan reassures them that he's going to carry out the task. So cut to a crazy scene of Marvin pulling up with his guys, spraying up the pawn shop, going to go kill Breeze and whoever's there. So, but unfortunately, they don't know what Breeze and his team carrying, and they killed like the 2 or 3 guys that's with Marvin. Luckily, Marvin got away, and Breeze was with it. He was ready to kill all of them, because they pulled up trying to kill them. So Marvin got away by the skin of his teeth. So I don't think it was nighttime, so I don't think Breeze saw. He just was, they were just defending themselves. So that did not go well. I think it's clear they underestimated Breeze and his dudes. thinking because they younger it was gonna be easier, and I Marvin saw that reality and got out of there. So, child, we shall see how this goes. This is just craziness. This episode is like not letting up, child. Full speed ahead. So now we see Aisha. She comes to Juke's crib. She's going on and on about how she can't eat, she can't sleep. She's all in a wreck because of their breakup, and um, you know, Juke is just trying to keep her distance. She does not want to get back with Aisha and bring her into the mess of things, especially how things are going right now with her and her family. And Aisha's just like, oh, you're lying to me and you're just doing that to protect me, but I would rather take a chance and be with you instead of not being with you and regretting it my whole life. And so when she scoots closer to Juke, she feels the gun that Juke was playing with before she got there, and she's just like, what is this? She was like, is this a gun? And she was like, is this yours? And Juke is like, yeah. And she's just like, you still want to take a chance on me? And basically saying like, you gotta go. And Aisha's just like, what are you about to do? And Juke is just like, girl, please get away from me. I am not what you want. We are two different people. And she's basically, and Aisha's just like, I love you. And basically like, don't, if you, something happened to you, I don't know how I'm going to live. And, just being very in the clouds about Juke. And Juke is just like, girl, you need to leave. We're done. I got a new girlfriend. Um, you need to move on and live your life, basically. So I feel bad for Aisha because, she's naive to how they really get down. She knows they're in it, but she doesn't know the reality of it and how dangerous it is. And I'm like, I don't know why this girl is around. Like, go and live your life and go to school. Like, girl. So cut to this very intimate scene with Marvin and Rock, and he's just letting her know like he got away by the skin of his teeth with trying to shoot up the pawn shop, Breeze's pawn shop, and his mans and them is gunned down by Breeze and his team, and it did not go as planned. And Rock is still just like, oh, we could put Breeze down. He gonna be a problem. We can put him down like everybody else. And Marvin is just like, yeah, he could be like everybody else, but like he just basically starts just talking to her like, can I be honest with you? Can I ask you a question? Like, basically, like, what does the game really mean to you anymore? And he shares with her like how he's viewing everything in the game, and how in the beginning he enjoyed like how everyone respected them and feared Rock and in their family, and it was fun, and how much wealth and everything they were able to get, and amongst the streets, and prestige, basically. And he's like, but basically as time went on, like it never really fixed anything. It never really fixed any of their problem. It actually made them kind of distract them from ever really resolving any of the issues with themselves and their family. And it never fulfilled them, even though they were getting all this wealth and living better lives and can afford whatever they want. It was never, it never really fulfilled, because it was never going to be enough. It was always that greed aspect to it. And basically just trying to see like, that's how I'm viewing. Are you viewing it that way? And he's just like, this thing with Kanan, like, you keep moving like this thinking he's going to love you, or you're trying to manipulate or control how he view you, and show that you love him. But just like the game, the more you push, the more it's going to basically it's gonna come back out of you. It's gonna attack you. It's not gonna go the way you plan, because you're trying to force something that can't be forced. And I'm glad he said that to her. I'm glad he was very he finally said his piece with her, and it wasn't, in an angry place. It was just in a very reflective. It was very honest. Um, and Rock knows she feels the same. She knows he's right. She doesn't, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't interject. She doesn't interrupt him. She knows he's right. There's nothing to really say to that. And I'm glad he was able to get that out and just let her know. Because Rock can be very hard headed, but she needed to hear that. She needed to hear that truth, especially from Marvin. And so we cut to, whatchamacallit, Aisha is at Kanan's crib talking about, like, oh, you got to go help Juke. She had a gun and I don't know what she's going to do. You got to go help her. And she's basically like, well, that's probably not her gun. That's probably Marvin's gun. And me and her don't really talk anymore. And if she's has a gun, it could possibly be for me. And she's looking at him like, don't even joke around. Like, how could you say something like that? He's like, well, we're not really rocking with each other. So, like, basically, there's a lot of shit going on in the family, and you just need to go because some shit about to go down soon, basically. So, Kanan's starting to think, like, oh, it's Juke planning something. And he basically let Aisha kicking her out. She's just like, y'all always like kicking me. He's like, yeah, and I don't know why you're not getting the message. You're like, get away from, why do you want to be around crazy ass family? And I agree with my girl, go to school. You got this nice middle class family living in a nice brownstone. Like, why you want to be in this ghetto mess? Like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, these niggas are crazy. Like, so I hope Aisha stay away, child, because they are a family of psychopaths. So I hope she stays away and go and live her life. But that's where we at, child. Now we see Rock meeting up with Tremont. And we starting to see some old characters come back, child, out the woodwork. So we see Rock meet up with him and try to see if she can move some work for him. And he is like surprised, and he's just like, after all, the shit they went through, like, if I wasn't witnesses here, I would kill you right now. And she's just like looking at him like, you talking real crazy, and you basically was like begging for my brother not to kill you. And he's like, girl, you are not in a position to be talking crazy to me like that. Like, it's word out on the street, like, you don't have protection, you're not moving nothing no more, and basically your days are numbered. So Rock is like super embarrassed. Like, she already had to come with him, and Rock, she hates when people know her business. She like to keep shit to the vest. So that meeting was a waste of time. So we see Snap and Pop coming out of like their restaurant. They having like a back and forth, basically talking about Breeze and saying like, and his eyes just being like, I would have been. They're basically talking about how they found out about, or got word about Breeze's side business was selling the pills, and his uncle's mad. His aunt's just like, well, we was doing our thing at his age, but the uncle was just like done. So they don't know that Juke is following them. Juke is in the car. She got a driver. She is following their whereabouts, lurking, child. So cut to Snap and Pops. They meet up with Breeze in the park and basically let him know, like, they know about the side business, and that because there's a scene earlier in the episode where the two twins, the Italian twins that he moved that work with the pills, they got pulled over by the cops, and they basically dimed out Breeze, and they putting everything on him, and then Breeze is just like, I could fix it, or I'll give you all the money from that, like, that's not gonna be a problem. And they're just like, we talked about this before you started working with us, that you wasn't gonna do a side business, and we basically can't trust you, and they basically like, they sever ties with him and saying you're being replaced. And they like will notify the proper parties, like, just that quick and easy. And he's just like, who are you gonna get, like, basically to replace me? I'm irreplaceable. So I don't know how this is gonna move forward once Kanan finds out. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, what is gonna happen? What is gonna go on? This episode is like on 10. It's like on one. This whole episode is like they is not letting up. So we shall see how it goes, child. Woof. So cut to we see Pops and Snaps walking through the park, talking their junk with each other after leaving from Breeze and basically releasing him of his duties in their business. And motherfucking Juke finds them, let them know that she know that they killed Famous. They lying because they're cowardly. They're so disgusting, hyena cowards, and she know they lying. And they're looking like her husband's looking like, who is this? And she's like, oh, that's Kanan's cousin, and he's just like thinking, just because they young, he can lie and they're gonna believe. And Juke takes them out. I'm so fucking happy that she did it. They needed to die a long time ago. Just everything they've been doing against their family, like I'm so glad that they handled it, and I'm annoyed that nobody else handled it and Juke handled it, and I'm super happy about that because they've been needed to die. Like, I can't. And then Rock randomly goes to Unique's old crib to see if he's there, and like him or his baby mother, and like I think it was the baby mother or either Unique's mom, and she basically like, Rock, no, like I know who you are. And I think Pernessa and Unique's name is Kadeem, which is dope. I love that name. So basically saying like they left New York, they're not here. I don't know what you coming here looking for. I know who you are. If you come back here, I'm gonna call the cops, and like I'm not scared of you, and like I got a gun too, bitch, and I know how to use it. So I don't know what this thing Rock is on, is going to try to see old people to see if she can move work. And it's like, girl, you done severed ties and burned bridges. Like, how you gonna burn bridges and try to, work back with them? Like, they don't trust you. Like, I don't know what she looking for. And you would think she would have went after Pops and Snap. Like, they're really like the source of a lot of the bullshit and the mastermind of trying to take her and Marvin down. So I don't know, like, why she trying to kill everybody else. Why she ain't try to kill them? Like, it's just craziness. So, but again, Juke, the G that she is, she took out Pops and Snap, and I'm so happy. I was so hoping they were gonna die, and she handled it. Love it, Lord, my God. So we see Marvin in his crib. He's packing up a suitcase. He's putting a letter in. He pulls up to the church, goes inside with the suitcase. You see a car lurking. You can't really see who it is. Pulling up, seeing Marvin go into church. Marvin's talking to the pastor, basically saying, like, give this suitcase. Make sure the suitcase gets to my daughter. And the pastor's just like, yo, I don't want, like, nothing illegal going on. He's like, Marvin's like, nah, nothing is illegal. Nothing's going to get you in trouble with God or the police. But if anything's missing in that suitcase, it is going to be a problem for you. And he basically also gives money to the pastor, like, on the side, and just like thanking him for everything, like his counsel and his time and throughout the years and everything. And the pastor just like, oh, I'll take this as a tithe. He like, take it, whatever. Of course the pastor gonna take it. It's a good wad of cash. So he's like, I'm gonna take it as a tithe. And Marvin's just like, take it out, whatever. And so the pastor be like, yo, I'm gonna put this, this suitcase like in safekeeping. I'll be right back because I want to continue our conversation. So Marvin's like, all right. And so he hears the pastor walk off. So he hears footsteps coming back, and he's thinking it's the pastor. And when the person comes around, he sees this person in the hoodie, and then he take it off, and Marvin sees before the audience, and it's Kanan. And so Marvin's like, what you doing? You up here like trying to rob the church? And he's like, and Kanan's just like, nah. And then Marvin put two and two together. He's like, oh, you here to like take me down? And so basically Marvin's just like, you can see him slowly surrendering to it. And like You know what I mean? Realizing his time is up, he basically being like, I'm gonna get my cigarette and light it, and like Kanan is on him with the gun, like pointing it at him, and he basically, goes into this whole monologue about how, like, if you kill me, it's gonna this is gonna stay with you. And he was like, at first, and then Kanan's like, oh, I can live with it. He was like, yeah, at first, and then it's gonna wear off, and by then you'll be so dead inside. And then Kanan's like, is that what happened to you? He's like, nah. He's like, I'm not dirty like you. He was like, you don't care about nobody but yourself. And he was like, when you die, like in the end, like nobody's gonna miss you. You're gonna die alone. And that shit is the way Marvin fucking read that nigga whole life. Like, cause that's literally what happened. Like nobody fucking missed Kanan. Kanan was like this dark phantom. Like nobody was ever happy to see him, ever. Like the way he read that boy, and the way, and so Mara basically like seeing Kanan point. He's like, "Are you gonna get this over with?" And you just see Kanan just bust on him, and they just the slow motion of it is just like, ugh, which is a smart choice for the audience to like feel it because Marvin, especially Marvin's character, and it's like he didn't have to die because like Juke handled Pops and Snap, so it's like fuck, like Kanan, why? Like Kanan is just like he is just team. He didn't even have to do that. You know what I mean? Like he didn't, but it's like there's no trust anymore, and it's like how can they move forward? You know what I mean? Like too much has happened. So, but it's like, damn, it's like why you kill both of your uncles? Like, like Kanan is just like, and then at the end you hear 50, like the older Kanan's voice narrating being like, if you didn't hate me before, you hate me now, and I don't give a fuck. And it's like, oh my god, you were just like Satan. Like I can't. But it just, this whole up until this episode, you've just been seeing this constant theme of like death and betrayal. The death of like the betrayal of everything, and especially after Lou died, each of the characters going through their own ego death. You know what I mean? And really seeing themselves and their family and the structure and the game so much differently after Lou's death, and um, seeing everything unravel thus far. And it really put a pin in it with Marvin. Like we were gutted with Lou, and to see Marvin die, especially you saw so much growth in him, unfortunately, after Lou's death. And but just seeing him surrender, knowing his days were numbered, like he didn't even, he knew he knew death was lurking. He couldn't run from it anymore, so it's just all of the choices creatively, just this season, especially this episode, was just so smart, and really, having the audience really engulfed with in the feeling of what Marvin and Rock are going through, just the dwindling, and the similar to what you need, like the game, they holding on to something that in the game they don't have a hold on it anymore, and the realities of that, like there it's a timer when you go into that lifestyle, and when they should have got out a long time ago. And this is just the sad truth, along with Marvin and Rock, and even Pops and Snap, of like that you're overdue in staying in the game way too long. You know what I mean? And now it's just like, how is this gonna go with Kanan and Rock? And even Juke. And Juke lets after she kills Pop and Snap, she lets Rock know, like, I know that you didn't kill Famous. You know what I mean? So who knows what else they talked about if she like let Rock. They didn't show that, and we'll see if she tells Rock that she handled Pops and Snap, which that's the only good thing about this episode. But it's gut wrenching to lose Marvin. It was so wonderful to see the evolution, in the arc of Marvin from beginning to the unfortunate demise, and how he, a man who was so loyal to his family, him and his brother, and how they went out through this demon spawn of their sister. They had so much loyalty and love for their sister, and for them to be killed by her son, and Marvin said that he felt like Rock loved Kanan more than them, to the detriment. You know what I mean? And it's the truth. It's the truth, because he took out both of them, and it's just because she, you know, she could like she could take control of everything but Kanan, and how he turned out. Like, she literally, he's just a monster. Kanan is just a monster, you know what I mean? And it's just super sad, but another great episode. Thank you so much for watching this recap with me. This, again, I always say, this is my favorite Power series. Just looking forward to seeing how this ends, and just kudos to London Patina. Everybody is acting down this season. They're the standout actors this season, and I'm just such a fan, and I'm really going to miss this show when it goes off. But if you like my reviews and my recap, please like and subscribe. Please comment. What did you think about this episode? What do you rate this episode? I think it was the best episode so far this season. I give it a strong 9. It was wonderful, but let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.